All right, we are starting off right at Frostburn Canyon for episode number 4 of Assault Rifles Only Salvador. I apologize that we couldn't get done with Frostburn Canyon today. I was kind of slow, Uh, people do tell me that a lot. And here's Lilith. I played Maya with 9 times spawns on, with this one mod for more than 1 time spawns. And the bruisers never died, and so there was like 16 bruisers on the map because only the first 2 died. And it was quite a challenge, and I did get that character to ultimate vault hunter mode, but I couldn't get through ultimate vault hunter mode itself. you know 9 times spawns is too much, even for a character who has like crazy good mobbing like Maya. So yeah, I am still sorting out a few things with the audio and stuff like that, so per episode it will change and stuff like that. But so far I am kind of cruising along and making minor tweaks here and there to the audio. I promise that next episode will have like way better graphics. Um, I sorted out some storage on my computer and stuff like that, and as well as my external um, drive. I went to Walmart to try to look to buy one more external drive, and it was ridiculous. Like, I'm not that broke, but I'm not spending like $90 on 2 terabytes. That's ridiculous. And it was Seagate. I like Seagate as a brand. But I just didn't see that it was worth it. So I'll probably get more internal storage just for the long term, because right now all of the videos and stuff like that are going on the external hard drive. So yeah, our mobbing is still going really good for right now. As of right now, the everything's dying, pretty fast. Um, in the next episode, we will be getting the Varuk, hopefully. So that's something to look forward to. But as of right now, we will not be in this episode. We will not be getting any more unique weapons, at least for assault rifles. Um, I am drop reloading, but it is kind of hard because the mission reward, or the mission item, the assault rifle, cannot be drop reloaded because it has to stay in your inventory at all times, which that is quite unfortunate. It is a very good um, weapon for early game, and it would be nice to drop reload it because that reload is a killer. And you can see that the ammo regen that I have right now, while having both those guns out, is crazy. I'm regenning like at least 5 bullets a second, which is very good. Um, the higher level we get, the Hoarder class mods will give us more ammo regen, so that's even more stacked on top of that for later on. I might be getting or actually I will be getting the Monk class mod from Tina DLC at level 30, or just about there. I do like to have that class mod just in case. Assault rifles do have a big mag, but the money shot does hit hard. And if we do get a somewhat low mag, somewhat spammy assault rifle, and we do use Inconceivable without the mag regeneration perk, we can money shot chain. I don't know of any assault rifles around that area that are able to do that. I think that the only one is the kitten. Um, but yeah, we could always use a purple Torg spitter, which I might get from Torg DLC, or something like that. The boss that I will be farming for crystals will probably be Pete. He is like the easiest one. Um, it's either P or well, I was about to say Hyperius, but Hyperius, um, I would need the antagonist, and to get the antagonist, I need crystals. So yeah, it would probably be or kill Pete for crystals, or kill Hyperius once, the struggle, and keep trying to kill him, and then eventually kill him once, and then just gate crush Master Yi, because Salvador is the best to do that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, but that'll only come in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. We meet Ellie here, you know, looking fine as always, But yeah, I do a safe quit right there. I will be safe quitting some of the dialogue and stuff like that. Uh, um, yeah. I didn't get anything from the vendors, unfortunately. The best thing that we've gotten from the vendors so far is that Hoarder class mod. I just had a um an egg casserole, an egg and hash brown casserole. It is super good. It it like that's what's on my mind right now, so I apologize if the commentary is not, the best quality, but that egg and hash brown casserole definitely was. I will be using the other entrance, not the main fast travel point to farm for the Varuk, because it's just slightly faster. And as I previously stated, I will be using all of the car weapons. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I um I here, you want to know what? I'll just tell you I'll just tell you a little bit about myself, because commentary right now, it's in the middle of the dust. There's not really much around here. I am 18 years old. I currently go to college to become an electrician. I don't know if that's what I want to do. My real, dream profession is like something to do with computers, whether that's like software engineering or like development of anything, like I like um website creation slash like game creation, stuff like that. Um but yeah, so I have two cats. Um I I have a car, but I'm still broke. Um I'm doing this as, kind of like a hobby, is making videos and stuff like that, and I like it so far. This is like the first time that I've been doing it, so it's somewhat of a learning process. But yeah, it's going good so far. Um, Not really much complaints. I have a month and a half left of my semester, and then after that, it's only a year left before I get my master's. Um, I the My best subject in school was math. I have like a good amount of math ability. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But math was my best class and stuff like that. And here's Badmaw. Anyways, here's Badmaw. Badmaw should go down pretty quickly. I don't know why I swapped to the spitter, but Badmaw surprisingly goes down quickly. He can't hit any of his shots on us. If he did, we would for sure be dead right here. But yeah, we hit a dot with the blaster, which turned to fire because when you save quit, the mission items reset or randomize. And yeah, so that we got past Badmaw. I will be coming back here to him to farm XP in a little bit, but for now I just want to run through Bloodshot as it is. I think being slightly underleveled kind of like adds a bit to the challenge, and I do want a low level favorite tortoise. So yeah, my best subject in school was math. Um, I was in like what were they called? Advanced math classes in high school. I got very low grades in every single one of them just because I didn't really pay attention in class. I've always been I've never been able to really like sit down and like pay attention and stuff like that in class. Um, I um my worst subject was by far English. I can write a mean essay, like I can write a really good essay and stuff like that, but it's just because like I use like all of the other um different like forms of like writing that I've read and then just mix them together and put the certain subject that I'm writing on into it, and it just kind of works out in my favor. Like I haven't really ever gotten a low grade on an essay. Um, I was a um honor roll student, which is like a around an 80 and stuff like that in school. I've been out of school for like or high school for like a year now. Um, I I just got a text from someone. I apologize. I have a really cool thing. Um, like that. Okay. It's called an eidetic memory. It's very cool. Like it's like a weird version of like a photographic memory. And that's what I think makes it so easy for me to not repeat like annoying information. I know that I have repeated a couple things a few times, but um I haven't like made it annoying. I do hope that I haven't made it annoying. Um but yeah, so pretty much what that does is it like my my information retention is like super good, but I'll only like ever like process things, it feels like, the day after. So like if there's like new rules where I work and I work in a grocery store, I will only like ever like be able to realize like what those new rules are like the next day or something like that. And it makes it really annoying because people will try to tell me like, "Oh, do this," and then I'll forget like 5 seconds later, but I'll remember the exact wording and exactly how they said it like 5 months later. Like it's really weird, but yeah. So we are coming up on Mad Mike in here. He's another Nomad boss because early game. Who doesn't want another one of them? Um, what I do want to see, which I don't think that they have any in this game, but like I think that it's cool when they mod in when mods make like marauder mini bosses or stuff like that, like just small enemies and stuff like that. I like that fact about like Borderlands 1. It felt like they were like super high level enemies even though they were like on level with you, but like super like skilled enemies. I don't know, like lore wise. It makes no sense that, let's say, like Shank from the Cromerax DLC in Borderlands 1, the T-Bone Junction. Um, it makes no sense that Shank has like a crazy large health pool and can just like take like five pumps to the head, you know. I don't think that that makes much sense, but it's it's Borderlands. It's not supposed to. I do hope that it is kind of like that in Borderlands 4, and what I also want is I also want like um the vault monster. I want like raid boss like vault enemies, like not like main story enemies. I want there to be like an end game where you could farm vault monsters and stuff like that. That to me seems pretty cool. I've been playing this game called Path of Exile recently, and well, Path of Exile 2. I haven't played the first one. I just thought that it looked good. This guy that I like watching on YouTube was playing it, and I do like their form of endgame. I'm not much. I do like grinding in games and stuff like that, but that is just like a bit much for me to really really get into the end game. And I like the balance that Borderlands has with their like end game like drop loots and stuff like that. Um, except for Wonderlands. Borderlands 3 had it pretty good. You could farm for like 1,000 hours for like an end game class mod, and that is a little bit ridiculous, but Borderlands 3 has a good game flow, so it kind of like evens itself out, you know what I mean? Um, but I do like the fact that they have like randomized rooms and randomized bosses, and it actually fits well. Or at least the mini bosses, randomized mini bosses. So like just I don't know, stick a warden fight in the middle of the dust or something like that, or like the Borderlands 4 equivalent to that Borderlands 2 scenario. Um, Kind of like how Roguelands is. I find that to be pretty fun. Um, so yeah, I did not do a DPS check on the tanky warden. Just because I knew that one of our or the Kerblaster and also the Spitter are explosive damage, which doesn't really work the best against Warden. At least it's the grenade damage portion that doesn't do the best. Um, I in Borderlands 4, I do hope that there is resistances, but not immunities. And what I mean by that is, I'm fine with enemies having like 50% resistance to a certain kind of damage, or even like 75% resistance to a certain kind of damage, so that like you actually have to play with like element swapping and stuff like that. But I also feel like it should get to a point in like the end game when you have like perfect loot of everything and your build synergizes perfectly to where you could use shock to kill robots and flesh guys and stuff like that. Like that's just like my personal thing about balancing, and I kind of get cooked right here between the exploder and the badass loader. It was not going that well, and I also kind of messed up this skip right here. So yeah, I forgot to jump. So of course I have to try again, and then I see the badass loader jump up, and I just say screw that. I'm not dealing with all of that. The surveyor gets in my face. This loader wants to smoke. Um, it's just not a good day on Pandora, to be honest, right now. So one thing about the warden fight is that after you kill him and the loaders spawn in, that you have to like mob all the loaders, you can just save quit that, and you can see that this warden fight didn't necessarily go that well for me because the DPS check thing did or that my DPS did not work out that well. My only weapon that dealt like its full percentage damage was the Gatling gun, and I don't know why, but the Gatling gun was not doing anything. Like it would take a full mag to kill a loader, which I think is kind of ridiculous. Even the Kerblaster is doing better than the Gatling gun at this point. When I was playing Jacob's Allegiance Maya, which I did this was like 3 or 4 years ago. I would farm the pumpkin head boss. I think his name is like Pumpkin Kingpin or something like that. And I would farm him for XP and stuff like that. And the I would use a Gatling gun over the Thompson for him, and it and for whatever reason it just dealt more DPS. But now as I look back at it, I think that that was l- just because of like some weird Maya thing, you know. I think that was the increased mag size, but as of right now on Salvador, we don't have any increases to mag size, so we can't really, work with that. The For whatever reason there is a badass loader in the arena, so I just decide to not do the rest of the mobbing right here. And that fight didn't go well, but we did get it done. We are on to the Wilhelm quest, but I will do a couple of side things before doing the Wilhelm quest. One of them is I want to get the fastball because I kind of realized, the skyrocket isn't going to work that well against certain things, and the fastball will be good up till like level 20 or something like that. Level 20 if I do slag the enemies. So yeah, I didn't pick up the cult following quest because, I don't really care about the Flame of the Firehawk right now. One thing that I do find interesting is that Bold doesn't spawn in his skags after you kill him, or after the first time that you kill him. I think that that was just like a kind of interesting area. Um, and I do wish that they would like respawn every time, but not necessarily be like aggro, you know? Um, Aggro until you hit him. Because when you look at this. He's got four dog cages and him, right? And then once we come back to here, it's just gonna be him and four cages with no dogs. I just don't think that it fits. Unfortunately, we didn't get it first try here. Um, and yeah. So, I have a good amount of experience with playing video games. I don't necessarily like no life video games, like it's per person. If you like to play video games all day, um I can't really like play games for like more than 5 hours unless like, it's a new game thing, and then I'll spend like 20 hours straight or something like that playing the game. But I throughout the border for the whole Borderlands franchise, I think that I have like about 2,000 hours between my Xbox account and or it's probably a little bit more than that, like 2,500. But the majority of those hours are on going to be on Borderlands 2. I think about like 1,500 maybe will be on Borderlands 2. It's just like, my favorite game. My favorite game to like think about playing has to be the pre-sequel, just because of like the cool mechanics and stuff. And Nisha is a pretty cool character to play. My favorite character is Wilhelm, but Nisha by far is like the most fun at like the end of the game. Um, I think that like with like polishing and refining Borderlands the pre-sequel would have been pretty decent, and dialogue skip and cutscene skip. Um, Pretty much just like quality of life in general. Would have done loads of good for that game. Yeah, and so we pick up the last echo recorder. The quest doesn't really reward us with anything that's good. Um, the bowl has a 1 in 10 chance of dropping us a fastball. which is a pretty good chance. I do hope that in Borderlands 4 they do have like balanced and weighted drops, you know. I don't think that having three drops in one pool is necessarily like the best thing. I think that it should stay somewhere around like two, and then maybe if it's like a set bonus weapon, then you can have three weapons or something like that. Kind of like how Haterax is with his drops. I think that if they have two weapons in the pool, each weapon should be like about a 1 in 12, you know, somewhere around there seems kind of balanced. And so we kill Bull right here. And takes a while, but we do get the fastball on the second try, which is pretty nice. It is explosive. I think that that is a low roll, I do believe. Um, but it might just be the level and it might actually be a high roll. I'll say it's probably a medium roll. I come over here. We will be farming the Bad Maw for some XP in a second. But yeah, so yeah, I won't be getting a relic too soon. Um, yeah, so Badmaw, he gives us a good amount of XP. He gives us about like 12% of our XP bar every single time. I get an anarchist right there, a blue one, which kind of sucks. And the anarchist is like one of my favorite weapons, just because of it being like just a general better infinity, but it doesn't. It's not really better. It's better in terms of DPS, but in terms of like ammo consumption, it's kind of bad. I get a blue um a dull assault rifle right there, which would be good if we were playing like Axton with the with Axton with only assault rifles. I um I was thinking after talking about getting the hail in yesterday's episode or the last episode that like I wonder what weapon I will use to kill binary boss, you know, because binary boss is one of like the most annoying bosses, especially when you don't have the DPS enough to like kill him quick, you know. And I'm not the best practiced with that fight. I'll just be honest. My practice with that fight pretty much just consists of boar farming him with zero or Pimperhab farming him with Salvador. Um, I have killed the boss legitimately several times, but it is just quicker and faster to do it that way. Kind of like how it is quicker and faster to kill Badmaw if you get a dot on him, but unfortunately we don't for about half of these kills. We pick up a torpedo right here. It is, I believe, an upgrade to the Kerblaster, but I just like the Kerblaster so much. And the child grenades, if they all hit, they do deal more damage. We already have a good base DPS weapon in the form of the blaster on our left hand, so we won't really be using that torpedo that much. I'm also gathering every piece of iridium that I can to get more ammo capacity, because even though we do have high spam ability, we also have to be able to actually get a full mag up, you know, with each one of the weapons. Um, yeah, one of the midgets drops a piece of iridium, which I haven't really noticed that they could do that. I thought that they would only drop base low tier loot, but now the more that I think about it, they do have a whirlpool forced drop thing. I forget the exact name of it, but yeah. An important, I guess, I don't know if this is really important, but a good note about Vadma is that explosive weapons or otherwise splash weapons, like how the blaster is kind of set up, cannot damage his ropes that he has on his shield. But yeah, that's the end of the video. You guys have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye.